And here it is, the CoasterDynamix Comet. You can see on this side, it talks about how Michael Graham, I think he used to own part of CoasterDynamix, maybe still does, you know, so they kind of play up the fact that a real roller coaster designer helped design it. You know, not a very big box. Some photos over here. You know, you can see, but let's open it up and do a little unboxing here before we get started. So the manual, quite thick, let me tell you. Switch over to the tripod and we'll go through this.
Before we go any further, I want to take a moment here using Internet Go Back, because CoasterDynamix doesn't have the photos on their website anymore, and you can see some of the pages are broken, but kind of show off what the finished model should look like, since the box doesn't really have any great photos. You see the train there, the grass, nice light package. Now this is funny, the Amazon product description photo, I don't know, it's not even sold on Amazon anymore. The train is off the track. So
we got the manual here, just printed out on paper, nothing too exciting, nothing crazy to see here. Lots of steps, lots of steps. A lot of stuff is assembled, it comes pre-assembled, but lots of work still to do. So here are the bases. You can see they're green, which makes it easy to put grass on top of it. We'll get to that in a second. So you got two bases. I think it's like 30 inches long, 12 inches wide, so it's not very big. See there's some contour to them, you know, a little bit of a hill, which is kind of neat. And then, so I did buy this as scratch and dented. Normally these, they used to sell for like $150, $175. I got it for $70. They cleared them out years after they sold them, so I was surprised they still had them. But they are missing a few pieces. I was able to go to the store and buy the few pieces that were missing. We'll see if those actually work, but you can see here's like the bends already kind of pre-made. This is the pieces for the station. Track already comes together here like this. See, it's pretty small. You know, it's a lot smaller. You know, in the photos, it always makes it look bigger, but you can see how my hands looked compared to it. You know, I was thinking as a joke, maybe you could paint it rust color and make it an RMC. So lots of the track pieces here. Entrance to the station, motor to power the whole thing. I believe these are like the stairs that run along it. More vents. This appears to be our lift hill. Decals, signs, and then here are our cars. You can see the cars are really, really, really small. Have to put them together, but I think they'll probably be fun to paint. So I think the biggest takeaway from unboxing this is a lot smaller than you would think. It is HO scale, so something to keep in mind. I believe that at one time they sold a larger version, but looked less realistic. I think they just put their regular steel CoasterDynamix track on a wooden structure. So here's a little, take a look at the bend structure here before we get started. And that is that. So first step, we're going to get these set up and start landscaping. So let's get started. Went to a hobby shop and first time, I don't know how long, and got some scenic cement, because the first thing you got to do before you start building it is if you want to put grass down, you got to put grass down it. There's some trees would be nice. So those probably come in later. But blended turf, I got this because it wasn't, there's some grass that just looked like super green, kind of like that green. I wanted to look, I've never been to an amusement park that has super green grass, or maybe Busch Gardens Williamsburg does, but we're not making Busch Gardens Williamsburg here, guys. Actually, so this is the more green grass, and it'll be mixed with this. Kind of figured this might go under where the track is. And then spray bottle to spray on the concrete. So, and of course glue. So that will get us started here, and check in a few minutes. So got the base glue together. I had a little trouble getting the super glue open. Now the next step is we are going to spray on this scenic cement. I'd never done this before. And then start applying this bad boy to it. Now my working process on this would be, so it's called burnt grass and then earth blend. Probably bought way too many, but I got some ideas for that, so I can use leftovers for. Different video. Oops, I think I just super glued the scissors together. Sorry, wife. She's giving me this thing. They were already broken. So, anyways, so my thought is probably do the green stuff all over. Probably do one coat of the green all over, and you'll see this in a second. And then probably under where the coaster is, because you know, you can't water that area too much, but that's probably where we'll go with this. So like probably one coat of the fine turf and then one coat of this kind of sprinkled in where the coaster runs. Never done this before, so don't know exactly what I'm doing. And you'll get to watch me do it for the first time. Let's try it. So I have the first layer down. It's not spraying as misting as I would like. So I'm going to just try doing one side here and kind of see how it comes out before I go too far over here. But so far, pretty easy. Let's keep going. Well, the first part is down. Glue's clumping a little bit, so not quite sure. And you know, it tells you to lay down the ground cover before you do anything, obviously. But you might have picked up in the video, I was trying to see how far. I think these holes are more so just for placement, versus rather like you put it really down in the hole. But if you do ground cover first, you cover up some of the holes. So just trying to figure out the best approach to do some of these things. But got the initial cover down. Afraid to, man, there's grass everywhere. You know, it's coming there. It's getting there. I think now that I got the first layer down, maybe I'll do another little layer, but then probably start accenting some of where the track would be with the blended turf. So that's what you're going to see next. So you can see now I am putting on some of the accent, kind of call out where the track will be. Obviously, you know, I'm making this up as I go, but grass under the coaster probably doesn't grow as good. So plus it just kind of gives it a little bit more, you know, realistic kind of look. No one's grass looks all one color. So with never doing this before, I don't really know when is good enough. I'm going to move on to the next stage, and I know I'm exposing a little bit of the superstructure here, the base. I figure I'm going to have to kind of come back in on some of this and clean it up once all the track's in place. But I think, you know, almost probably pretty there. We'll shoot it with kind of supposed to seal it in with this. First I was a little disappointed. This glue kind of makes it clump up, but it kind of almost makes it look more realistic. So we'll seal this sucker in. Maybe one more pass of each around, and then it'll be time to start, I guess I was going to say laying foundations, but it'll be time to put these bad boys on there. Day 2 on the construction site here. Everything's looking pretty good. The The grass is nice and dry. The only thing I haven't shown that I've done has been add the stairs to the station. So really the next step here is to start installing the vents. And I think you start installing it right over here at the base of the lift, so you know you're going to be building the lift. So let's get started and see how difficult that may or may not be. So they're all in the bags here. So bag B essentially builds the lift. So I'm going to shake that out there. And I'm looking for 00. It's 02. 00 is the one that is needed to start. So let me find it and we'll get started. So the time has come. We're laying the first piece of track, but before we do that, I have to, so if you're curious, the chain isn't a rotating chain. It is, let's see it there. Similar, I think all the other CoasterDynamix is just a rotating spring. And here is the lift piece. So we're going to combine these two and then install the first piece of track. And that's probably where we'll end this video once we get that installed, if we can get that installed with the first piece of track. So let's get started here. Yeah, we're making some backwards progress. I miscalculated. I forgot that there's a 00. So as I was putting them in, I was like 1, 2, 3, 4, and I missed the 5th one. So everything has to be moved back. They're already super glued in place. So I might have just ruined everything. But we're going to now try to re-glue these to different bases, different footers. So I guess that's probably where we'll leave number 1, cliffhanger. Will this actually work? Or maybe part 2 will just be it in the trash. Who knows?